Stephen Miran and Trump's Mar-a-Lago Accord, genius plan or economic madness? On Liberation Day, President Donald Trump shocked the world with a wave of sweeping tariffs, hitting America's top trading partners and shaking the global economy. But what if this isn't economic chaos, but part of a master plan? At the center of this strategy is one man, Stephen Miran, the economist shaping what could be the most radical financial gambit in modern U.S. history. Stephen Miran is no ordinary policy advisor, a Harvard-trained economist and former hedge fund strategist. He now serves as chair of Trump's Council of Economic Advisors. In 2024, Moran released a bold economic proposal titled A User's Guide to Restructuring the Global Trading System. Inside, he outlined an aggressive plan to reset the U.S. economy and address its skyrocketing national debt. He calls it the Mar-a-Lago Accord, a play on the 1985 Plaza Accord, when the Reagan administration convinced global allies to devalue their currencies to boost American exports. Moran's version is more extreme. He proposes three major moves. First, devalue the US dollar by up to 15%. A weaker dollar would make American exports more competitive and reduce reliance on cheap imports. Second, restructure the federal debt. Replace standard treasury bonds with century bonds, or even perpetual bonds that may never need to be repaid. This could reduce immediate repayment pressure and delay the debt burden far into the future. The third, pressure America's allies to go along with it. Moran suggests using U.S. military power as leverage, threatening to withdraw defense guarantees unless partners cooperate. He also supports the use of tariffs as an economic weapon to compel alignment. At the core of all this is a serious problem: the U.S. debt crisis. The debt-to-GDP ratio has surged past 123%, and the federal deficit in 2024 hit 6.4% of GDP, triple the average for other advanced economies. Without action, the U.S. could be headed for a dangerous debt spiral. But Moran's strategy isn't without risk. Devaluing the dollar could spark panic in the bond market. Investors might dump U.S. treasuries, which would drive up borrowing costs. Worse, it could shake global faith in the dollar as the world's reserve currency, undermining one of America's greatest economic advantages. Even if the administration manages to negotiate a debt rescheduling with foreign creditors, it won't solve everything. That's because 75% of U.S. debt is held domestically by banks, pension funds, and ordinary Americans. A sharp dollar decline would erode their savings, raise prices, and threaten financial stability. And will America's allies play along? That seems unlikely. China, the largest holder of U.S. debt, is locked in strategic rivalry with Washington. European nations have grown wary of Trump's foreign policy unpredictability. Convincing them to hold longer-term debt or manipulate their currencies may be politically impossible. Still, there's evidence Trump is following the Moran playbook. The sudden tariffs, threats to pull back from NATO, even proposals to sell long-term military bonds to foreign governments. This may not be chaos, it could be coordinated, but even with a coherent strategy, success is far from guaranteed. The global economy is fragile, and financial trust takes decades to build but can vanish in a moment. Stephen Miran's plan may be bold, but it is a high-stakes gamble. Is it economic genius or destined to fail? Let us know what you think in the comments. For more analysis on global economics, power, and diplomacy, subscribe to Western Relations.